to the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 3. Verses 1 through 12. Proverbs chapter 3. Verse 1 reading to verse 12. My child, do not forget my teaching, but let your heart keep my commandments. For length of days and years of life and abundant welfare they will give you. Do not let loyalty and faithfulness forsake you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. So you will find favor and give repute in the sight of God and of people. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not rely on your own insight. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make a straight path your way. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. It will be a healing for your flesh and a refreshment for your body. Honor the Lord with your substance and with the first fruits of all your produce. Then your barns will be filled with plenty, and your vats will be bursting with wine. My child, do not despise the Lord's discipline, or be weary in his reproof. For the Lord reproves the one he loves, as a father the son in whom he delights. Verses 5 and 6 again from the New King James Version of the Bible. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. I want to use for a subject, Father knows best. Father knows best. As this school year came to an end, I got word that my son be taking the end of the grade testing that would cover everything that he learned in the 6th grade. And his math grades were up and down for most of the year. So I thought it wise as a father and as a business major who was all right in math, that I would sit down and tutor him and get him ready to do well on his math EOG. Because how hard could it be to remember the theories and the formulas of 6th grade math? But y'all, as I sat down to get him ready, I was frustrated and discouraged within 10 minutes. And my patience got short. My temper got high because I wasn't making any progress. And it wasn't because he didn't know or couldn't learn math. It wasn't because I didn't know how to do math. But now I understand why parents and teachers are frustrated with that word, new math. Because these children don't learn math the same way that we did. And they don't understand that 9 times 3 is 27. Because the new math says to look at the relationship of the numbers. But when I was growing up, 9 times 3 was 27. Because that's what the chart said it was. And that's how we learned it, 12 by 12. And we memorized every number that was in that chart. And we didn't have to understand it because it was what it was. So 10 minutes in, I'm already frustrated. Because I understood that they don't learn math the way that I did. And they don't committed to memory. But now they have formulas and principles. So they don't do long division like we did when you carried a number. But they use what they call partial product and the lattice method. And if you don't have a young child in your house, you don't even know what I'm talking about. And they learn math these days with these formulas. And y'all, I learned that the best thing that I could do, not to keep getting frustrated with myself and yelling at my son, was to help him recognize what kind of problem that he had. So he would know which formula that he needed to use. So as long as he could recognize the problem and match it up with the formula, then he could come up with the answer. And y'all, that may be new math, but it's still a good way to get through life. Because if we can recognize the problem that we have and what formula that we need to use, then we can get ourselves out of any mess and navigate ourselves out of any situation and come out dry out of any storm that we go through. Because the key to going through life is knowing how to recognize your problem and understand the formula that we need to use to see ourselves through. And that's what Solomon is doing in the book of Proverbs. Because when you get to the book of Proverbs, you'll find out that a father is sitting down with his son to talk about some principles and some formulas that would help steer him through some situations in life. And here it is, the King Solomon, who has been given the gift of wisdom from God, realizing that his main goal and main responsibility as being a father is to pass down the wisdom that the Lord has given him. And if we agree that the main role of a mother is to love and to care and to nurture and to kiss boo-boos, then the main role of a father is to pass down wisdom to help their child be successful through the challenges of life. Because what fathers ought to do is to sit down and give their children some life lessons to help them deal with the issues that they're going to come up in this world. To sit down with our daughters and to let them know that a real man doesn't lay in bed all day and run the streets all night, but that he's committed to his responsibilities and he puts a roof over his children's head and doesn't expect the woman to provide for him. To tell our daughters how beautiful they are. So when she comes of age, she can tell the difference between a real man and somebody who's trying to run game on her and doesn't have a nose wide open about somebody who tells her that she looks good because she already knows that from her father because all the days of her life. And y'all, it's our job to pass down wisdom to our sons, to sit them down at the table and to tell them how to put on a suit and how to put a knot in the tie, how to shine their shoes, how to give a strong handshake, and to look them in the eye when you talk to them, and to pass down some wisdom, and to help them get through these forms that will help them get through life. Solomon is doing this, that's what Solomon is doing in this chapter, in chapter 3. And in these first 12 verses, we'll find that Solomon gives his sons these parallels of commandments and blessings. And he tells them, son, if you do this, then this will be the reward. If you remember and carry out my word, then the reward will be long life. If you let the truth guide how you live, then you'll find favor with God and with me. If you fear the Lord and shun evil, then the reward will be healthy and a long life. If you give the Lord your first fruits and learn how to sow into the kingdom, then your life will be overflowing. And then in verses 5 and 6, which are known to many of us, Solomon gives his son a formula that will never fail. And he says to his son, when the days get dark, because they will. When times get rough, because they will. When friends are acting funny, because they will. When money is not enough, when your education won't get you through, when you don't have enough contacts in your phone to help you. Solomon says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. And Solomon says, here's a formula that I want you to learn. And y'all, I just believe that Solomon was on his way to being Baptist because he gives us 3 things to let us know that fathers know best. Because he says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. And we need to stop right there because that's where we begin and end our lives, by learning to trust in the Lord, by putting our confidence in God, and by having faith in God. And Solomon says that if we want to make it through, then we have to learn to trust in the Lord. And what he's really saying is, not only do I want you to trust in God, but I need you to learn how not to trust in some other things. So don't trust in friends, because friends will let you down. Don't trust in money, because money won't solve every issue. Don't trust in power, because the same people who voted you in will turn right around and vote you out. Don't trust in your education, because the old map will turn into the new map. It'll have you frustrated and irritated, and don't even trust in yourself. Now let me tell y'all why that was real to me. Because we live in a time that one of the best weapons that the devil uses is our self-determination. So he tells us that if self knows the right people, if self has the right degree, if self does all the right things, then we can put ourselves in a position that we can handle and determine everything on our own. And if we can make it, if we can deal with it, if we can handle it, then we don't need nobody or we don't need nothing, because we're the cat's me out. We're cool as ice and twice as nice. Because when we say jump, people say how high. And we start to believe that we can handle this life on our own. And what Solomon teaches his son is that no matter how bad and bougie you become in life, that life will put you in a place where everybody and everything that we thought that we could count on will eventually let us down. And y'all, if we live long enough, we'll find out that our education doesn't matter. If we live long enough, we'll find out that money can't buy us everything. If we live long enough, we'll find out that your last name can be a blessing and a curse. If you live long enough, you'll find out that not only are you not in control of your own life, because if you live long enough, friends will leave you, family will front on you, church folk will do you wrong. And somebody has already been in that place in life when the things and the people that you can stand on and believe in, they have let you down. But y'all, here's what Solomon says. When you get to that place, when there's nobody else that you can count on, that there's somebody that you can always call on. So when friends can't do it, when family can't do it, when money can't do it, when education can't do it, we ought to be like the old saints and fall on our knees. Lift up your hands and say, Father, I stretch my hand to thee. No other help I know. If I withdraw myself from thee, whither shall I go? And is there anybody in here this morning who's ever been in a place where God was all you had? And you realize that if God was all you had, that you were in pretty good shape because you can trust in the Lord. And Solomon tells his son, I want you to put some degrees up on your wall. I want you to start a family. I want you to live well. I want you to make enough money to pay your bills. But above all of that, I want you to learn to trust in God. Because when you trust in the Lord, there's some stuff that I don't worry about, because I have God on my side. And y'all, I don't want us to leave here this morning just talking about our trust in the Lord. But I want us to put our trust into action. Because when times get dark, when days get long, when people fail you, there's some stuff that you don't have to worry about because your trust is in God. So I don't have to be more to pay my bills because my God is able to supply all my needs according to his riches and glory. I don't have to drink myself to sleep every night because the Lord is my life and my salvation, and he's working out everything for my good. I don't have to get revenge over everybody and everything because the Lord will fight my battles if I just hold my peace. So I can keep my head up and keep my hope alive and keep my belief strong because I trust that God is working it out for my good. Tell somebody, I trust in the Lord. That was the wrong somebody. Now tell yourself, I trust in the Lord. And if we trust in God, how dare you walk around looking depressed on a Sunday morning? If you trust God, how dare you depressed and be scared on a Sunday morning? If you trust in God, how dare you sit in church worried and working about tomorrow? Because if you trust in God, give it over to God. Sit back, take your socks off, put your feet up, lay your head down, and know that we serve a God who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask or think, because he's that kind of God. Now y'all watch the last part of verse 5. And lean not on your own understanding. Now I gotta tell y'all that this messed me up, because most of the time we've been taught something different than this. Because most of us have been taught to trust our own feelings. And it seems that Solomon is telling us not to trust what feels natural. But for some of us, trusting our natural feelings have gotten us through life. Because we had some gut feelings and a sixth sense about some people. And it was dead on. But the key word in that verse is lean. And if we look at that word more in 2 Kings chapter 5, in 2 Kings chapter 7, It talks about how a king will appoint an advisor who he doesn't question or doubt. So the king leans on somebody whose wisdom he doesn't have to mistrust or doubt. And he's totally dependent on the person that he's leaning on. So Solomon says, son, don't lean on your own understanding. Don't be totally dependent on your own feelings. Don't totally trust your own awareness. Don't be totally guided by your own emotions. Don't lean on your own opinion. Because I understand it can sometimes be wrong. And Solomon says that sometimes our thoughts are off. Sometimes our perceptions are misguided and misinformed. Sometimes our feelings are incorrect. And sometimes our feelings are not based on facts. Because sometimes what they told you ain't true. Now let me tell y'all why that spoke to me. Because some of us don't ever question or doubt our own judgment. And y'all know the folk that I'm talking about. Because they always right. Everything they think is true. All their opinions are right. Can't nobody tell them nothing. Can't prove nothing to them. So ain't no need to even waste your time. Y'all act like y'all know some people like that. And they never doubt their own judgment. And Solomon tells his son that you have to learn how to question your own judgment and see if you have all the facts. Am I seeing everything right? Could my opinion be influenced by what I'm going through? Could I be the one who's wrong in this? Can I trust what they say, even though they don't always tell the truth? And Solomon said that if we lean on your own understanding, then we become people who have no filter. And y'all, when we have no filter, we move from emotion to action. We move from feeling to doing. And we act on our feelings more than our intelligence. And as soon as we feel it, as soon as we think it, as soon as we believe it, we move on it. Because we haven't stopped to work through our understanding. As a matter of fact, some of the worst stuff that we've ever done is because we went from feeling to doing. Because we hit sin when we should have hit Satan. And we did it when we should have stopped to think it over. And here's what Solomon said. Learn to have a filter. Don't move on everything that you think. Don't go off on everybody based on what you heard. Because we have to learn how to move from feelings to discernment. Because our feelings are our flesh, but our discernment is in our spirit. Feelings are us, but discernment is God. Feelings are careless, but discernment is wisdom. Feelings want approval, but discernment wants truth. Our feelings want it now, but discernment says to wait on God. Feelings tell us to handle it ourselves, but discernment says let God work it out for us. Feelings say get even with it. But the sermon says, touch my nigh anointed. And we have to learn how to stop and pray about everything that we go through. And to stop and get some godly counsel before we just move into everything that we feel. And learn to lean not on your own understanding. And learn to trust God with your own heart. And then watch what Solomon says in verse 6. In all your ways acknowledge him. Tell somebody acknowledge God. Now y'all, that word acknowledge means to accept. It means to admit the existence of, or admit the truth of. So what Solomon is telling his son is to act like you know who God is. And he says act like you know by doing three things. And number one, act like you know that God is real. And Solomon says that the best thing that I can give you is the truth of an almighty and an all-powerful God. That no matter what we go through in this life, that no matter what the professor or theologian tries to tell you, that above the earth in the heavenly lands, on the thrones of authority, sits an eternal God who was before there was and will be when there ain't no more. And we have to know that God is real. And let me tell y'all why that's so important. Because we live in an unconvincing, uncertain world that doubt the realness of God. And our children are taught to believe in fairy tales and fantasy. But then to deny the realness of an almighty creator in the heavens and in the earth. And I know that this might make some of y'all mad this morning. But I want to know how come Santa Claus ain't banned from school, but God is. Because I want my children to know the truth. And the truth is above all your problems, there is a God. Above all your issues, there is a God. Above all your enemies, there is a God. Above your situation, there is a God. And God is in control of everything. Now y'all, as a good pastor, I want all of us to be sure about our theology. Because there's some Christian theologians who believe that God is dead. And they believe that God is not real. And they believe that God is just a figment of our imagination. And that we just created God in our minds to make up for our own evils. And they believe that he's a God that we just created. So we'll have something to believe in when we go through the hardships and sufferings in our life. And they believe that God is for the foolish and the crazy. And y'all, I read all that. And I know that they have PhDs. I know they teach in some of the best schools in the world. But I believe that there's some things that I may not know. And there's some places that I cannot go. But y'all, I'm sure this one thing, that God is real. For I can feel him in my soul. Is there anybody in here this morning who knows that God is real? And you can't make me doubt, because I know too much about him. I've seen too much. He's done too much. And I know that God is real. So y'all, Solomon says, acknowledge him by acting like you know that God is real. Then he says that after you acknowledge him, act like you know that God is with you. Because God has promised that he will never leave us or forsake us. So when you go through the fire, he'll be right there. When you go through the waters, he'll be right there. When you go through the valleys, he'll be right there. If you make your bed in hell, he'll be right there. Now, y'all, I remember about 17 years ago when my daughter had her awards day in kindergarten. And after it was over, she said, Daddy, I almost got perfect attendance. And I asked her, did anybody else get it? And she said, yeah, my friend Cooper got it. So I asked her if she knew what perfect attendance meant. And she said, yeah, that means that every time that the teacher looked for him, that he was always there. So can I give y'all some good kindergarten theology this morning? Because whenever we look for God, whenever we need God, whenever we call on God, whenever we want God, he has perfect attendance. And he's always right there. That's why the songwriter says, I've seen the lightning flash. I've heard the thunder roll. I felt sinners break the dash, trying to conquer my soul. But I heard the voice of my Savior telling me to fight on. And he promised never to leave me, never to leave me alone. Tell somebody, I know God is with me. So trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. And in all your ways acknowledge him by knowing that God is real, by knowing that God is with you. And acknowledge him by knowing that he's worthy to be praised. Because if you ever won in a war, you acknowledge the people who helped you win the award. Because you know that you didn't win it by yourself. So here's what Solomon says. In all your ways, in all your conditions, in all your circumstances, in all of your mountains, in all of your valleys, in all of your storms. And when you get to the other side of it, make sure that you stop and acknowledge God. And make sure that you acknowledge that you didn't get there by yourself. Make sure that you admit that if it had not been for the Lord on my side, make sure that you acknowledge that it was his strength that made you go through what you went through. Make sure that you acknowledge that it was his might that he brought you out of what you went through. Make sure that you acknowledge that he woke you up this morning, started you on your way, put food on your table, and that he's blessing you right now. Tell somebody, acknowledge God. Now, y'all, we need to take note of who's telling his son to do all this. Because Solomon is the king. And that means he has all the wealth. He has all the power. He has all the achievements. And he says, son, don't ever forget that God is worthy of our worship. And that God is worthy of our thanksgiving. And that God is worthy to be praised. And y'all, I'm so glad that Solomon said this on Father's Day. Because there's a misunderstanding going on in the church. That somehow our praise and our worship only belong in the mouths of the women. And that it's only the women who can get up in church and give God glory. But y'all, I believe there's some men in here today who ain't ashamed to admit that it was the Lord who brought you through. It was the Lord who turned you around. And we need to stop right up in here. And we need to call for some baritone praise. Call for some tenor praise. Call for some bass praise. And on this Father's Day, can we get some men up in here to look back over your life and admit if it had not been for the Lord on my side, because God has brought me through some stuff. And I acknowledge him this morning, because that's what God wants to see. Some men who are ashamed to acknowledge him. And the text says that if we trust in the Lord, if we don't lean on our own understanding, if we acknowledge him, watch what God is going to do, because he shall direct your path. Now y'all, that word direct has two meanings. Now not only will the Lord guide us, not only will the Lord give us instructions, but that word direct means to level out. And it's almost like that picture of that painting that's hanging on your wall that ain't ever left. And Solomon said that we do everything that I taught you to do, that the Lord will level you out. The Lord will balance you out. The Lord will straighten out your path. So he'll take the incline out. He'll take the hills and make them plain. So y'all, what should have taken us out is the Lord is going to make it plain. If you trust in the Lord, he'll make it like smooth sailing. If you don't lean on your own understanding, he'll make it easy like Sunday morning. He'll take the hills out of our lives. He'll take the mountains out of our lives. He'll straighten the paths that we're on, because God knows best. God bless y'all. We're doing the church is now open.